Well, whether your kids are graduating from college, starting their first job, getting married, or having a child on their own, it's always a good time to encourage them to get a financial plan started. Financial planner Michael Egan, a founding partner at the Tysons Corner-based financial services firm Egan, Berger & Weiner, LLC, is here to tell us how to get started. And this is really important to get your kids on a financial plan. I think adults think all the time, take care of me, but they don't think about their children always.
Absolutely. I mean, as most parents, I mean, you've got certain jobs, you know, healthy environment for the kids to grow up in. Maybe you're helping them pay for college. When they get out of college, they get their first job, you're like, oh, my job is done now. Now I can focus on myself. But the reality is this, even if you have a really good financial plan for yourself, I've seen way too many financial plans blow up because you need to bail out the kids, because you never got the kids on the right track financially with their own plan. So, I mean, it's May right now, right? We got graduation coming. What would be a great gift for the kids is get them to sit down with a financial planner early so they can get good habits early so they're not in that trouble and need to bail out later.
Is the mistake that parents think, oh, I saved for college for them and I took care of that, and they don't think that they're going to ever need anything after that? So the kids don't even know?
It is. And I hear it all the time. You know, Mike, my kid's got a good job now. He's making good income. You know, I'm done. So, you know, me and Susie or me and whoever, we're gonna start planning our life and we're set. And then, you know, 10 years into retirement, the kids need a big bailout. They got upside down in their mortgage. You know, they still haven't paid off the student loan debt. They've got 2 very expensive cars. They can't pay their bills. One of them gets out of work for a period of time. What are the parents going to do? They're not going to leave the kids hanging.
They're going to bail them out.
They're going to bail them out.
Right. And go into their retirement.
And go into their retirement, which could have been perfect.
Right.
And now it gets a little shaky.
Which is where you guys come in and try to stop that from happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have some startling statistics I want to talk about. 35% of Americans say they have no money saved for retirement, according to a new poll. That's got to
Harris Interactive did that poll, and that's a big number. 35% $0 saved for the biggest expense you're ever going to have in your life, which is, you know, 20 to 30 years of not working.
And 56% have less than $25,000 saved.
Right, which is not going to get you far enough in retirement. Not unless you have this huge pension and you don't really need the money at all. But
what do you think when you hear those statistics?
Oh, it scares me. I mean, I don't necessarily see it in my own practice because these are people that are actually planning.
Sure.
So they know the numbers they need to get to the goal. But of all the people who aren't working with a planner or planning on their own for retirement, the numbers are crazy.
Yeah. What are some key milestones when that you can help your kids to avoid becoming part of this statistic here?
Well, I think the first is obviously if there is student loans outstanding, get a plan immediately of how quickly that's going to get paid off. Don't just stretch the loans out over 20 years or 30 years or however long you can do it. Try and say, okay, we're going to forego that new car, maybe get a used car, put those extra payments toward getting the loans paid off as soon as possible. Even if the interest rates are low, it's still a big bill. You want to be debt-free, ideally, before you go buy that first house. And a lot of people make the mistake of going into the house, still carrying the student loan debt, and then, of course, they have their own kids coming up, and daycare expense and everything else, and it gets really expensive, and then it's hard to pay off anything.
But isn't it part of it, that's what our culture has become, that we think that this is how it's supposed to be? We're just supposed to almost live in debt?
Well, depends on who brought you up. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, debt is kind of normal, and if the interest rate is low enough, you're like, oh, okay, that's not that bad. But the reality is the most freeing experience in your life will be the day you say, I am debt-free. You know, a lot of parents today, still the goal is, let's get that house paid off by retirement, and it just makes life a hell of a lot easier when you know that that bill isn't there. You know, maybe the kids are going to college, or sorry, they have their own kids now and they need to start planning for their kids' college so they don't have to go into debt when it's time for their kids to go to school. These are all bigger milestones along the way.
And does a good financial plan adapt?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, typically we run a new financial plan for our clients every year, and things change, you know, whether it's their goals change, whether their health changes, whether the stock market changes or the tax code changes, there's reasons for it to change. But if I'm a younger person, maybe I'm looking at updating my financial plan every 3 to 5 years or at major milestones. It doesn't maybe have to be as critical as somebody who's closer to retirement.
I think what we're learning here is it's never too soon to get you on the right financial plan, and now your kids. They've got to have the financial
Absolutely.
plan,
I mean,
too.
we've all said, you know, if I only started sooner, how
exactly.
much different would it be? Well, that's what we're trying to get accomplished now.
Michael, thank you so much for coming in. Great stuff. And you can learn more about this topic and find much more financial planning ideas at Michael's Knowledge University website, ebwfinancialnews.com. And for more, even more information about Egan Burger and Weiner LLC, visit ebwllc.com. Stay with us. Much more of Let's Talk Live in just a moment.